This video contains a truth that has changed the lives of many people. If you are having health problems and have ever felt stuck, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment in the comment section so we can share useful knowledge together. Have you ever caught yourself reaching for something only to lose your balance for just a split second? Maybe you didn't fall, but you felt that scary wobble, and it made your heart skip a beat. That moment so quick, so quiet can change everything. Now, let me ask you this: when did walking across a room start to feel like an obstacle course? You see, falling isn't just about clumsiness. It's not something that just happens because you're getting older. There's a real reason behind most falls, and once you understand what's truly causing it, you can take simple steps to stop it before it starts. So today, we're diving into the #1 cause of falls in seniors. But even more importantly, we're going to talk about how you can protect yourself, stay strong, and keep your independence for as long as possible. Because you deserve to walk with confidence again. Stick around, because this conversation could truly save you from the pain, fear, and long recovery that comes after a fall. You're not powerless. In fact, you're about to become the expert in your own safety. And before we begin, I'd love to hear from you. What are some challenges you've been facing lately? Do you struggle with balance, leg weakness, or fear of falling when you're out in public or even at home? Drop your experience in the comments. Let's support each other and share advice that can help more seniors live better. Now, let's get into it. When most people think of a fall, they blame their shoes, their carpet, maybe a slippery spot on the floor, and yes, those things can be part of it. But what causes the fall to actually happen? What really brings you down is a loss of balance, and the #1 cause behind that, muscle weakness, especially in the legs and core. As we age, it's natural to lose some muscle strength, but it becomes a problem when that loss makes it harder to catch yourself if you stumble. Think about it: when you were younger and you tripped, your body automatically responded. Your legs were strong enough to stabilize you. Your core tightened without you even thinking about it. You corrected your posture and stayed on your feet. But now, if your legs and core aren't strong, your body can't react fast enough to save you. That's why the ground comes up faster than you expect. The good news is you can absolutely build strength back, no matter your age. Even if you haven't exercised in years, even if you've already had a fall. Let's talk about how. The first thing I always tell my patients is, start where you are. You don't need a gym. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need to get on the floor or do anything uncomfortable. The magic happens in small, simple movements that you can do while sitting, or standing movements that tell your muscles, hey, wake up. We've got work to do. For example, try this right now while you're sitting. Lift one leg just a few inches off the ground and hold it there for 5 seconds. Then switch to the other leg. Feel that little shake? That's your muscles firing up. That's strength being rebuilt. Slowly, steadily. You can also try standing up from your chair without using your hands. If that's too tough right now, that's okay. Use your hands for support. But keep practicing. One day soon, you'll surprise yourself. Strengthening your quadriceps, hamstrings, calves, and your core. These are your protectors. These are the muscles that will catch you when life throws a curveball. The more we engage them, the more they'll show up for us. But we're not stopping there. Let's talk about the second part of this issue that often gets overlooked: poor balance and coordination. And this doesn't always mean something is wrong with your inner ear or your brain. Sometimes it simply means your body hasn't been challenged to balance in a while. You know the saying, use it or lose it. Well, balance works the same way. If you've been mostly sedentary, watching TV, sitting for long periods, avoiding stairs, your brain doesn't get those little reminders to engage your balance system. The coordination between your muscles, your nerves, and your brain becomes a little sluggish. That's when slips happen. That's when turns feel awkward. That's when stepping off a curb feels like jumping off a ledge. But again, this is fixable and surprisingly easy to improve. Start by standing near a sturdy chair or countertop. Hold on with one hand and lift one foot off the ground for a few seconds. Then switch. Don't worry if you wobble. In fact, wobbling is good. It means your body is relearning. It's waking up the muscles in your ankles, your knees, your hips. It's telling your brain, hey, I've got this. As you get more confident, try using less support. Eventually, you'll be able to do it with no hands at all. And guess what? You've just trained your body to react faster if you lose your footing. That's how falls are prevented. And let me tell you something important: you are not too old to improve your balance. I've worked with folks in their 80s and even 90s who went from using walkers to walking short distances on their own, just by building strength and working on their balance a few minutes each day. It's not about pushing yourself. It's about showing up. A few minutes here, a few steps there, it all adds up. You don't need to move like you did in your 30s. You just need to move like you again. Now that we've talked about the role of muscle strength and balance, let's explore what else could be quietly increasing your risk of falling. Something many people don't even realize is affecting them. You know, when I talk to folks in their 60s, 70s, and even well into their 80s, the same concern comes up over and over. It's not just the fear of falling, it's the fear of what comes after. The broken hips, the hospital stays, the long recovery times, and worst of all, the feeling that life is suddenly a little more fragile than it used to be. But what if I told you that most of that fear stems from one thing, and that you actually have more control over it than you think? We left off talking about how muscle strength and balance quietly fade over time, and how daily habits, like sitting too long or skipping those small opportunities to move, slowly chip away at your body's natural stability. Now let's build on that, because the truth is, there are simple things you can start doing today that can dramatically lower your risk of falling and help you feel steadier and more confident in your movements again. Let's talk about something that often goes overlooked but has a massive impact: your feet. Think about it, they're your foundation. And just like a house with a shaky foundation, if your feet are weak, painful, or improperly supported, everything above them becomes unstable. Over the years, we often lose strength in our arches. Toes stiffen up. Nerves in the feet might not feel as sharp as they used to. And when you combine that with poor footwear, shoes that are either too loose, too tight, or too flat, you've got a recipe for instability. So here's what I recommend. And I say this to every patient: take care of your feet like you would a prized garden. That means shoes with solid arch support, a snug but not tight fit, and non-slip soles. And don't be afraid to invest in a good pair, one that fits your feet today, not the way they fit 10 years ago. Our feet change with age, and they need a little more love and attention now. Even something as small as doing a few toe lifts or ankle rolls in the morning can wake up those foot muscles and sharpen your balance for the whole day ahead. Now let's move up the body, because your legs, especially the muscles around your thighs and hips, are your personal shock absorbers. They help you catch yourself when you trip, they help you step up onto the curb, and they give you that push to get out of a chair without stumbling. But here's the catch: the older we get, the faster we lose muscle in those areas, especially if we're not challenging them regularly. I don't mean you need to hit the gym or start lifting heavy weights, but I do mean this: your legs need to work. They need a little resistance. That might be as simple as doing 5 slow squats while holding the back of a chair, or standing on one leg for 10 seconds while brushing your teeth. If you've got stairs in your home, even just walking up and down them twice a day, mindfully and slowly, can begin to restore the strength your legs have been quietly losing. And here's a beautiful truth I've seen again and again: the body responds quickly when you give it attention. I've had patients who hadn't exercised in years, who started with just 5 minutes a day, and within weeks, their confidence changed. They stood taller, walked more freely. One woman told me she no longer had to hold the rail every time she climbed the steps to her front porch. That might sound small, but to her, it was freedom. But strength alone isn't enough, because even if your muscles are doing their job, you still need coordination, and that comes from your inner balance system. I'm talking about the part of your body that helps you stay upright when you turn too fast, bend over, or walk on uneven ground. And unfortunately, this system also weakens with age, especially if it's not challenged. Have you ever noticed how younger people seem to twist and turn without thinking? That's because their balance system is still sharp. But as we age, we start to avoid those kinds of movements because they make us dizzy or unsteady. And so, the balance system gets rusty. But here's the secret: you can train it. You can wake it back up. One of my favorite ways is something I call safe wobbling. Stand behind a sturdy chair or countertop. Close your eyes for just a moment while standing tall, and feel how your body naturally shifts to stay upright. It's subtle, but it works your balance. Another trick: practice turning your head side to side while walking down a hallway. It gently forces your brain and body to coordinate again, the same way they used to when you were younger. These small exercises, and I do mean small, make a massive difference over time. They rebuild your body's reflexes, and when those reflexes are sharp, your risk of falling drops drastically. Let's not forget the role that fear plays in all of this either. After a fall, or even after a close call, many seniors start to limit their movement out of fear. They avoid walks, they skip the grocery store, they sit more, and ironically, that fear creates more weakness, more imbalance, and increases the chance of falling again. It becomes a vicious cycle. So here's what I want you to hear loud and clear: movement is medicine. Even if it's slow, even if it's just a few steps at a time. Every time you choose to move, you're telling your body, I'm not giving in to fear. I'm rebuilding. I'm taking back control. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to do an hour a day. But you do need to move. You do need to challenge your body, gently, safely, consistently. That's how you protect yourself. That's how you stay independent. And that's how you keep enjoying the life you've worked so hard to build. Now that we've talked about strength, balance, and the role fear can play, let's bring all of this down to the simplest truth. Falls aren't random. They're signals. Signals that your body needs attention, not punishment, not perfection, just consistent care. And it's never too late to start. One of the easiest ways to keep your balance sharp is to build movement into your daily routine. You don't need a special program or even a gym. What matters is that you move with purpose. For example, while brushing your teeth, try standing on one leg for 10 seconds, then switch, waiting for your coffee to brew. Do 5 slow heel raises. Watching TV, use the commercials as a cue to do a few gentle squats or side steps. Tiny moments like these, they add up. They send a message to your brain and muscles: stay alert, stay active, stay strong. But balance is more than just physical. It's mental, too. If you've ever caught yourself saying, I'm just getting old, or I don't move like I used to, I want you to pause and ask yourself, is that helping me stay strong, or giving me permission to slow down more than I need to? Because yes, aging brings changes, but decline is not automatic. Many seniors remain sharp, strong, and steady well into their 80s and 90s. And the common thread? They stay curious about their own health. They stay consistent. They make small changes day by day. And perhaps most importantly, they don't isolate. Falls are more likely when you're alone, both physically and emotionally. So if you're watching this and you've felt a little more isolated lately, reach out. Join a local walking group. Find a senior exercise class at your community center. Even a weekly phone call with a friend can lift your spirit and help you feel more motivated to move. Here's another often overlooked tip: light your path. So many falls happen at night, on the way to the bathroom, the kitchen, or when getting out of bed. Motion sensor night lights, non-slip mats, and clear walking paths aren't just safety tips. They're lifesavers. These are easy wins, and they make a massive difference. Let me leave you with this. The number one cause of falls is not weakness, not clumsiness, not even age. It's inattention to the changes that sneak up on us over time. But now, you're paying attention, and that means you're already ahead of the game. So start small, move every day, strengthen what you can, support your feet, light your path, stay connected. Because the life you love, the independence, the freedom, the simple joy of walking safely through your home or out in nature, it's not gone. It's waiting for you. And with a little intention, a little motion, and a lot of heart, you'll stay steady, you'll stay strong, and you'll stay standing.